needs this game more? Is it Dallas or is it Seattle?
I think it's Seattle. I mean, they've lost 2 in a row. They're 6-5. They're fighting for their playoff lives. I think we all know that Dallas is going to be in. We understand that they're going to be there as a wild card because they're not winning the NFC East. We know this. And so as a result of that, I mean, the reality is that they're going to be in the playoffs. They're not really concerned about that, particularly when most of the time they're playing last place teams anyway. We understand they're going to be there. In the case of the Seattle Seahawks, you just got beat down by San Francisco. You've lost 2 in a row. You're looking at Geno Smith, or Tyler Lockett, or DK Metcalf, and Kenneth Walker III and the crew or whatever. You're just looking at these guys, and you have to find a way to make sure your playoff lives remain intact. You're on a resuscitated. You're on life support right now. You're gonna have to make sure that you win this game.
You're wrong. It's the Dallas Cowboys need this game.
I'm never wrong, but go ahead.
No, you're wrong.
Go ahead. I'm never wrong.
Last time Dallas beat somebody when they were playing with the starting quarterback and beat somebody with a winning record, you know?
Doesn't matter to me.
You just crack your elbow.
It would be the Rams, the Chargers, Monday Night Football.
53 weeks ago.
Not Chargers, because they're not above 500, you know what I'm saying?
53 weeks ago was the last time the Dallas Cowboys, when the other team had their starting quarterback, beat a team with a winning record. Right. They got to prove to everybody, but most importantly themselves, that they can go beat a team that is a good football team. We know Dallas is a really good football team, but they also know that they've played against nobodies. They know that. If we all know that they've beaten up on lesser teams, then they are very aware of it as well. If Dallas doesn't win tonight, what are you going to do tomorrow when you come on first take? It's going to be a bloodbath. You're going to crush them.
Actually, no.
Bologna sandwich.
That's a lie.
But you will come.
Don't get on TV and lie.
What time that game going to be over tonight? Like 11:30ish? We're going to get a video on social media of you doing that laugh.
Really up in his face.
You're going to do that laugh.
Maybe showing off one of his houses.
And then, one of the houses. Then
the windows in the background.
You'll be on first take tomorrow. You'll have the phone set up so you can have some of the information. Be like, Dallas, the last time.
What is the deal with him and the research notes lately?
Correct.
Don't you hire a new guy?
I think you need to mind your manners because, I'm thinking about having a party at the crib. You might not get invited.
Tonight?
Okay.
That's fine. Her time is occupied.
No. She needs someplace to go. She needs someplace to go.
And you sit here and say, well, they have no shot of winning the NFC East.
I didn't say no shot. I just said they're not going to win it. I didn't say they have no shot. I'm sure they have they'll just end up losing. That's all I'm trying to say.
You truly don't know that because they haven't really played any.
I know that because history tells me that.
Philly plays San Francisco on this weekend. If Philly loses and Dallas wins tonight, next weekend is going to be for the division lead.
Okay.
So they very much so are still in the mix. That's why this game matters.
You're playing ball control. I'd like to hear from Kimberly.
I mentioned Kenneth Walker, but he's doubtful for the game because of his oblique injury. My bad.
Oh, for real?
For real.
Okay.
For real, for real.
He's on. Dan and I, we're trying to work through our stuff right now. So I'm going to mend fences because I actually agree with Daniel on this one. I get it. I get your point, Steven. Seahawks, they need it. Record-wise, they need it. But really, the conversation, it's about the Cowboys. Who are they? What are they? Are they as good as the Eagles and the 49ers? We've seen them play well. We've seen Dak play well against the Eagles and still lose. We've seen them get blown out by the San Francisco 49ers. This next month, this is the gauntlet that matters.
Right.
Everything else, Dak leading the league in QBR since week 6, doesn't matter. Him being first against the blitz and all, none of those stats matter if they lose tonight. You know why? Because you and your little cowboy hat will come in tomorrow and be like, I told you, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Black the Cowboys.
I'm not going to wear the hat anymore because my little nephew contaminated it.
That is true. He is a cutie.
Beat up.
We saw you.
I'm going to beat him up tonight. I'm going to beat him up tonight. I'm going to beat him up tonight. How dare he come on national television and say he's a Cowboy fan? I had no idea. I had no idea my little nephew was a Cowboy fan. I mean, I'm so appalled.
He's one of those disgusting.
And I just started hitting him upside his head, big knucklehead. I'm going to get him later, too. But here's the point that I'm trying to make to y'all. I understand what y'all saying, but see, you got to remember who you're talking to, not just who you're talking about. You're talking to a man that sits up there, and as you would say, what can go wrong will go wrong. But I also call for patience. You forgot that part, how I tell people, just wait. It's coming. Don't worry. Don't panic. It won't let you down. Holiday season comes up.
Never late.
You know, so we're here, and you know what? They win these games, and they win these games, and they go this way. Right, like a roller coaster, right before that dip. That dip comes right at the new year. This is what's going to happen. So what I'm trying to say, so what I'm trying to say to you is this. When we're talking about that, well, you ain't got to look at them like that. The point is this. when we're talking about, when the question is which team is this game bigger for? If the Dallas Cowboys beat Seattle, based on what we have seen from Seattle and whatever, the reality is we're sitting up there and like, they're an average team. They're all right. So what you beat the Seattle? It wasn't San Francisco.
But they finally beat a team with a winning record.
I understand that. But what I'm saying to you is we'll say, you talked about the narrative, right? And I would know a thing or two about narrative.
Yeah,
it ain't
you
just
would
you that
know.
was reporting this. Remember that, girl. Okay, so my point to you is this. When we're talking about narratives, since I am a person that has been a master at creating narratives for decades, I would add, let's throw that out there. The point that I'm trying to make to you is we're going to sit up there and we're going to say, yeah, they beat Seattle. That's nice. But it wasn't San Francisco. It wasn't Philadelphia. It wasn't Kansas City. It wasn't Baltimore. It wasn't somebody like that. That's what we're going to say.
Right.
Whereas with Seattle, forget what we're going to say. You'll be 6-6. You'll be in the hunt trying to survive for a playoff spot. It's different. It's more significant. You talking about noise about the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys live with noise every day.
Philadelphia, 3-point underdog against San Francisco on Sunday, according to ESPN Bet. That would be the largest home underdog role in the regular season by a 10-1 team with their primary starting quarterback. All right, Kimberly, tell me this. Should Philadelphia be underdogs at home? Because it's really 6 points when you think
Absolutely
about it.
not. The home team is spotted 3. I'm actually appalled that they're underdogs here. I get the way your mouth is open. What's going on with you?
I'm a mouth breather, sorry.
Oh my God. You're a mouth breather?
No.
Do you snore? Do you snore?
No, I hate snoring.
What do you mean you hate snoring?
I'm not a mouth breather. It was a joke,
Oh,
Molly.
I just asked if you snore. That's
just
all.
Was it a
listening.
joke? That's how you listen? Just like that? Okay. No, it's actually, I think it's disrespectful. Especially when, for me, what's the record? What are the records of the two teams? Why would Philly be underdogs right now? I understand that the 49ers are a complete team, but I just don't understand it. And this bothers me a lot, especially when the home team gets 3 points.
Go ahead, Orlovsky.
I don't find it. I think it's
DL sounds more like more flavor. You should hold on to the DL.
No, but
as opposed
he's
to
from Connecticut,
Orlovsky.
so it should be Orlovsky.
no. My last name is not a good last name.
That's
It's
right.
not.
I'm glad you know. Go ahead.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair. One, I've said this. I believe San Francisco is the best team in football. When they are healthy, they're the best team in football. And we can talk about Philadelphia in the proper way, that they have they're the best second half team in the NFL, and they have been incredibly clutch at the end of games, and Jalen Hurts has led that charge. They also have gone down at half in their last 4 games. So they haven't played 4 quarters of good football in the last month. They've played good enough, and they've played the best when it matters the most. But we're talking about a team, and that's why we see Jalen at the end of games, be very candid of like, what do you guys want me to say? It's great that we win, and that's the only thing that matters. But I know that there's more inside of us. I know that we can play better. So we have one team that when they are healthy and full have never lost outside of that Cleveland game when, again, Deebo Samuel and Trent, I think, went out of that game and they lost by a field goal that was missed. So we have one team that, as far as we know, has not lost when Brock Purdy has been their starter. And we have a team that has not played their best ball. It has not played their best brand of ball. So I don't think it's outrageous. I don't find it to be disrespectful. I don't find it to be anything but the value of who San Francisco is a football team, and they are fully healthy, and understanding that Philadelphia has not played their best.
Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, first of all, don't be surprised that she's disagreeing with you. I'm talking about Kimberley Martin, a.k.a. K-Mart, a.k.a. the daughter of a wonderful, wonderful Mama Martin that watches and loves me dearly. Ignore her, because what happens with Kimberly tends to get emotional. When she gets emotional.
Don't use emotional. Don't use it.
He
Don't
always
use it.
does that.
Don't use
with
it.
With him, it's passion.
No,
and
for
with
men,
us, it's
right?
emotional.
It'd be like when Dan can get up and walk around. It's passion.
Yeah.
It's excitement. But I sit up here
Emotional.
and it's emotional. Don't do
That's
that
messed
with
up.
me.
You should be better than that.
Well,
Do
first
not.
of all, let me tell you
it?
why I say it's emotional. Because when she travels to these games, she gets
No,
emotional.
because-
she had to
no,
travel.
no.
She's upset that she was on the train or the plane, and she's complaining about that. That's all I mean by the emotion. See, y'all took it in a different place. But that's how y'all do. It's okay. And you know what I'm saying? I understand that. I mean, you need a Christmas tree, there's a spirit and all that other stuff. I mean, you're just thinking the way that you think it. My point to you is this. Dan is absolutely right in this particular instance, and you are wrong. Okay? And you could try to instigate, it won't work. Here's the deal.
10%.
When you 15, I'll give you 15. I'll give you 15. You are valuable. Absolutely, without question. I
Go
just
ahead.
don't feel
What's
like
your
giving
point?
you
Go ahead. What's your
deserve.
point?
15. So messed up.
San Francisco, you know football too much, doing the exceptional job of reporting on the National
Here we
Football
go.
League.
Set it up.
I don't know. I'm telling you the truth.
Let me up, baby.
She
Go
is.
ahead.
Well, I'm just giving you facts. You better take it, girl, because ain't many people trying to give you that love, but you deserve
sure
it.
about
You understand?
that?
They ain't trying to give you that love. You know what you're doing when you come in the NFL now. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is this. You've seen the Eagles over the last 4 weeks. You've seen them come back from double-digit deficits, but you've also raised an eyebrow and had concerns as to how they put themselves in those positions. Meanwhile, since Debo has returned, since Trent Williams has returned, with having McCaffrey in the lineup, with an Ayuk, with a Kittle, with Kyle Shanahan doing his thing, with Brock Purdy, when he has a lead and he's not trailing, looking elite, San Francisco has looked like the best team in football.
That's fine. Here's where my pushback and why you're wrong. What is San Francisco's record? I don't care what's the most important stat, wins or losses? That's it. That's the most important stat. It's not about how you're playing. They figure out how to win. And right now, here's a question. Right now, you guys are saying that San Francisco is the best team in the NFL.
So they look like it.
They look like it,
now.
but they have not played the Eagles yet. No. So we think it, but we don't know it.
Well, we're previewing the game.
That's why I say right now it is disrespectful because the Eagles. What's their record at home?
It is. Hold
on, they're 5-0 at home.
That is such hyperbole. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. You could disagree, but to say it's disrespectful, stop it.
To Kimberly's point, I think Jalen has lost at home twice in his career, maybe 3 times.
27, 28-2 actually.
But at home. I don't think he's. I think he's lost at home as a starter, maybe twice, 3 times.
But
it hasn't happened in a long time.
They're 5-0 at home this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the last time they lost at home was the Chargers last year.
So they're 5-0 at home though this year.
Yeah.
That is why I say they're playing in Philly, right? They have not. They have been the best team. No, I'll be in New Orleans, baby.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at that.
For once, they needed to keep you on the East Coast. Now they send you south. I need to talk to these folks running the NFL for this network.
I won't be emotional flying to New Orleans. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, she'll just be passionate about covering the game.
I'll just be passionate.
Yeah, about covering the game. She's passionate about
there
her
are some
assignment.
beautiful spots I could send you to eat. You know, there's some nice restaurants there in New Orleans.
Who's the chef down there?
I got a few spots.
Who's the chef?
I got a few spots. It's quite a few.